last week that Democrats need to drop their support for the transgender movement if they want to start winning again. Maher made the remarks on the leftist podcast Pod Save America with the former Obama speechwriter John Lovett. We have some of that conversation, so here's a clip of it.
Let's go ahead and watch Matt Walsh, deliver his bread and butter. Look, it's a discussion that I guess we still need to have, but it is also the speed bump that Matt Walsh won't be able to go over. All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
Do I think in most of America they did that in schools? I don't. But I think in enough of them, in enough far left places, they did constantly have this idea in the minds of children that maybe you're not in the right body. I mean, the New England Journal of Medicine advocated for taking sex off of a birth certificate, I believe. It was like you're assigned sex.
Assigned sex at birth. Yeah.
You're assigned.
I think that's right.
I was assigned it by my when I was born. Yes, and again, to tell kids it doesn't always have to be and isn't always the default setting, but that's a different mentality than they put in the minds of kids. And that's why this debate goes on. And the fact that you think, or a lot of people on the left think that even if you just have this debate, it makes you a bigot, you just have to roll over. That was, you asked about the Biden administration. That was their position.
For a long time, people said, older gay people are recruiting kids to be gay. And they wouldn't really be gay. It was they were being recruited, they were being groomed, that they were being drawn. That was their conservative position, the Christian right position for a long time.
That's still my position. Yeah. Why do I need to know that my teacher's gay? Right? Well, I didn't know my teachers were married when I came to school. Right? I'm serious. That's still my position. I don't care. Oh, the studies don't show. How do we know that there would be this many younger gay people right now? How do we know? We don't know. We'll never be able to answer that question. But do not act like, I mean, come on. I covered this on my other channel like 2 years ago. Oh, these people was coming, putting their gay, husband pictures and stuff on the desk. For what? Why? The kids are 9. Come on, man. Y'all could make me. That's still my position. Well, we don't have the studies to show it. I don't care.
Time was the reason you didn't want to have gay teachers is they're going to recruit. That the gay lifestyle is going to look so enticing and so exciting that it's going to bring these poor defenseless boys, they mostly boys, into the gay lifestyle and destroy their lives. But of course that wasn't true. Really, all gay teachers were an example. Right?
Yeah.
Look, there are a few examples of people getting older and realizing that they shouldn't have transitioned. That happens. It's real. That's real.
Yeah, more than a few.
But there are also really important surgeries that people get for their heart, and they go wrong, and somebody dies. And
you nasty bastard. Yo, these people do piss me off. You see why you can't say, this is why one thing. That's why I'm like, yo, man, if I don't vote Republican, if there's or independent, I would never vote for a Democrat. There's not one single Democrat that I would vote based on this issue. So I see why people still talk about it. It's to remind you, I just think though that a lot of the right stays stuck on this issue because there's other issues going on that they're not going to talk about. But this particular one, yeah, man, it just disgusts me. You just told some people had heart surgery and then they found out, yeah, I've had a surgery that I found out that I shouldn't have had, but it didn't make me end my life or think about ending my are you freaking kidding me? Y'all wouldn't have known that until I told you. Oof.
But he says we must stop the cardiologists. And what you say is, let's make sure that this version of it is being practiced well. We don't get rid of the specific surgery. We don't throw out a whole field of medicine. We say, let's make sure we're doing it in a way that's healthy. And that gender-affirming care saves a lot of lives. And the truth is, we talk about these edge cases, talk about athletes, talk about locker rooms. But for the most part, what we're talking about is a very small group of people that just want the opportunity to live and express themselves.
Okay, so
Matt Walsh better do the right job with this clip. By the way, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Let me tell you something. Matt Walsh just copyrighted me from that other interview. So I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen with this one. Right? So please help a sister out. But he better do this one right.
A bunch of things to go over here. First of all, Bill Maher, as usual, is defending basically the weakest version of the right side of this argument. The fact that me and Bill Maher are ostensibly on the same side of the trans debate is just a reflection of how insane the left has gotten, of course, because in actuality, Maher still has a leftist view of the trans issue. You know, that's the crazy thing, is that he's seen as this kind of voice of reason on the trans stuff, and he is, in comparison to like the guy that he was just talking to, he is, but he still has a liberal view of the issue, which, by the way, I don't think he would object to that characterization. He doesn't object. He doesn't object to. He is a liberal. I don't think he would deny that. So now he objects for the most part to castrating kids, which is good that he objects to that. But he doesn't really deny the validity of transgenderism in principle, right? That's the point. Because that is, if there's a quote unquote conservative position on this, it's not just that, oh, we shouldn't be harming kids. It's that transgenderism itself is a category error. It's the category itself is made up. That's the conservative position. That's not Bill Maher's position. In fact, I believe he said recently in the last couple of weeks that the right goes too far when they say that sex is only male and female. He kind of alluded to it there, where he said that, his position is basically like most of the time you can tell if a baby is male or female from birth, but that's not always the case. It's not always the default setting. So he thinks,
which is absolutely insane. Like this, that's why I guess this is the topic that keeps on giving, because you can get big mad about it again, even after you like. I was allude to my other channel. I do have 2 channels, but the thing is, man, I'm telling you, like I went through and I did all them like Jazz Jennings episodes. I was going through every Jazz Jennings episode, so they finally banned me from the guy. Like I can't pull up the show anymore. I don't know. But I was going through what it takes to do those surgeries. Do you know? Look, dig this, right? Look, because Jazz, he needed to have a, to change out the private part. But remember, Jazz was the first child that was like taking like hormone, I got to be careful, like HRT or whatever at a very young age. So Jazz never grew a piece that was long enough to make skin to like reconstruct. Okay, so in order for this person to be able to have the skin to reconstruct, they would have had to like put this water balloon underneath the dermis, of the little bit of dermis that they had, and keep constantly blowing it every day to stretch out the skin, to use this little film of skin. And what happened was that the family and them, they decided they didn't want to do that, because all he was thinking was like, this is going to hurt, blah, blah, blah. So they said, listen, we have enough. We'll be able to do we'll do it a different kind of way. They gaslit this whole family, the kid, everything. And this person had to have about 4 surgeries down there. Can you imagine? 4 surgeries down there. Okay, so please, okay? So it is absolutely insane, like, to hear people like, well, it still saves lives. Like, elected surgery 4 times. I keep going down there, and they like excited. Oh my God, the clips were just too much. Like, they were borderline like PDF-y. No, and so, but Matt says that the conservative position is that it shouldn't happen at all. I'm not sure that I hear that many conservatives say it. They'd say, well, if you're older, you can really do what you want. I'm totally against it. But I will say, Michael knows this, say it is not a category. It is not a category. It is an absolute delusion. It is borderline personality disorder to the highest degree. And I would say allegedly, because I have to say that for liability purposes, with some schizoaffective in it. I'm so sincere. Like, you've gotten that delusional. And something brought you here, but you are still delusional.
Thinks there are exceptions, which means that Maher's position on transgenderism is the left-wing position of 15 or 20 years ago. The difference is that he did not keep sliding insanely to the left. He just stayed in his spot while the rest of the left drifted, that way. And that's what makes Maher the reasonable one in all these conversations. It's not that he's conservative at all. It's that he's the exact same liberal that he was 15 years ago. He has the exact same liberal positions that he did 15 years ago. His progressivism did not progress. It didn't go into remission either. It just kind of stayed in one spot. And that's important to emphasize because whenever you see Maher debating transgenderism with a leftist, you have to remember that the position he's defending is actually a very liberal position.
Okay,
but
how
it's
many
still
times are you going to say the same thing? All right, we get it. It's still, okay.
Is putting forward a theory. And that theory predicts, if it's true, it predicts that we should see a massive, disproportionate jump in LGBT identification in the generation that is being indoctrinated. So if we're going around claiming that, hey, they're indoctrinated.
So he's talking about the theory where how the guy said, like, oh, it's not true that the gays, promoted this and that kind of thing, because we would see a jump and all of that. And I think that there is paperwork to prove that there's jumps and these kind of I don't care. Okay? Let me tell you something. Look, I'll end it with this. I watched this documentary called Disclosure. And it was about a bunch of trans people, and like they were so-called. Matter of fact, it's been so long since I've reported on this kind of stuff, but I call them substitution body expression people, right? Because they're substituting their body and expressing it they're expressing their emotions in a substitution body. Okay. Anywho, and one of them said that after they were saying, like, we need to be seeing more of this on television, more of this on television, on television. One of them said, I did not know that was me until I saw somebody like me on TV. You know what that really translates? And I think that he was like he was a man substituting in his mind as a woman in his mind, and but I think it was like 4 or 5. He said when he saw that. That's an impressionable child who saw some weird stuff and said, ooh, I could do that. I don't need all these examples. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.